right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are still getting the players prepped for this first game, so it's going to be a couple of minutes before we are ready to jump into that first map, which is going to be Cobblestone. But Daze is here, and we can talk a little bit more about these teams. Let's start off with Liquid, and let's discuss Stanislaw. How does he fit into this new roster in terms of his role? Is he going to jump directly into where Hiko is playing off, or how are they going to try to fit him in here?
So Stanislaw as a player, I think is very, very versatile. That's one of his best qualities as a player. If he needs to pick up the op every once in a while, he's fine with that. His pistols are great. He can play solo sites. He can play big sites. He can kind of adapt to whatever the team needs, I think. And I think that's a big benefit for these Liquid guys. Whereas he's replacing the guy in Hiko who, if you want Hiko to perform really well, you give Hiko his spots, you give Hiko his role on T side, and he's going to thrive. Right? But when you take him out of that role, he's not as versatile. Okay, so both players have their added benefits and their added strengths. Now, when you talk about Stanislaw and Liquid and player roles and whatnot, we'll see if they start switching things up. This is a team that historically has switched players around positionally on CT side, has switched players around role-wise on T side quite often, and at the end of the day, that kind of hurts everybody a lot of the time when you're constantly switching like that if you just can't find that right fit. Because a lot of the time you're trying to put, there could be a square peg and what's it called?
Square peg in a round hole.
Exactly.
Or the reverse.
Exactly. And one of my personal issues I kind of have on this team a little bit is that I don't think they use Nitro quite like I think they should, especially on CT side. If you ever watch Nitro play, first off, anybody who's just like an insane aimer blue, they almost always have a great op, and Nitro has a really, really good op. So when you have a guy like Nitro on your team and he's not playing like secondary op spots, which they currently and have since they picked up Pimp, they've had him playing those roles in those spots. I think that's a mistake. I think Nitro should be in those spots, and that's kind of something that I have a gripe with this team. I think they kind of underutilize him a little bit on that CT side. Like, I think he should be playing all the secondary op spots, for instance, and sometimes even on T side pick up the op as well. But yeah, role-wise and everything like that, Stan can fit. He could fit almost anywhere, man. He's very, very versatile.
And he's going to have to fit in quickly here. He's getting thrown right into the fire after being tossed into this roster as the season's beginning. Let's talk about another player over the other side, though, for Misfits. And this is the one that I think has a lot of attention drawn to him. Obviously, you have Sean Garris as a leader, but he's been talked about for ages. The new guy on the block, and he's very young, is Sick. Where do you see his potentially playing with him like in Rank S and whatnot? You may have some insight into that. So how far do you think he can actually go as an upcoming North American player? Are we looking at another Stewie here, potentially a little bit less than that?
So Sick, I don't think he has the ceiling or the potential of someone like a Stewie, just because he's not nearly as assertive, right? Stewie being like that assertive type of player, he's going to make other people around him better because he's going to tell them what to do and things of that nature. Sick, I don't really feel like has that, has that mindset, right? He doesn't have that type of personality. What Sick does have is he is probably one of the best players, like literally like tier 1 at just winning gun battles, winning aim battles, knowing how to peek things, knowing when to wide peek, just left to right aim, mechanical skill wise is exceptional. Like, I'm talking extremely, extremely good. He does not miss the kills that he should get, and you are going to get punished if you peek him and you don't trade properly, because he's not going to miss. He's going to hit his shots, right? And he does that at a very, very elite level, and a better level than most players in North America. Like, I'm talking like top 5. He's that good. But what he's lacking as a player, I think, is that assertiveness, that ability to make other people around him better, that ability to kind of fit more into a team atmosphere. I think going back to TSM, and I guarantee we'll probably see it from Misfits a little bit, willing to like sacrifice his own for the team, go in first, die, get a Tech 9, jump in, that type of selfless type play. Kind of a bit of a hover is what I call it, where Sean might call a strat, and like we saw yesterday, we saw Selfless had really good T-side executes, and a lot of that was just because people were just full committing no matter what, right? And really just doing their role and focused on their job. But I think a lot of these guys on Misfits, Sick and Twist in particular, a lot of the time they'll go into it like half-heartedly. Sean might call something, and maybe one guy goes first, he dies, they just get sit behind a Molotov, and they just all kind of sit there and hover, the rotate comes, and it's a recipe for disaster, especially on land. On land, if you get into that on T-side, and you just get stopped in your tracks, like, you almost never win the round, because somebody rotates around, they get the fallback, 4 players play dedicated and disciplined in the site, and over-rotate, and there's not much you could do. So that's the issues I see from a couple of these guys on Misfits, just nobody to take that initiative and entry frag, because I think Relics is the same way. All of their players, it's very difficult for them to win a round when it's just like, hey, we need to brute force a strategy. When we watch a team like Optic play, every single one of their guys is not afraid to just run in, knowing they're probably going to die, but understanding that their teammates are going to be there for the trade. They're probably one of the best teams in the world at that. And that's something that Misfits needs to look towards and improve on.
Yeah, well, again, as you can see here from the nice little shot we have in game, we should be prepped to actually start this match in about another 60 seconds or so. But again, it goes to Cobblestone. We brought this up last night, but let's talk a little bit more about it. Again, we're seeing all of these North American teams. I think actually, at least in the mainstream, every single match so far has played on Cobblestone. So just going back to that once more, why is it that we continually see that map being brought in again and again and again now?
Well, I mean, clearly this is a map that North American teams feel confident on. I think every team feels like they have a chance to beat any other team on it. So, for instance, if you're a team like Selfless, right, and you're going to play against a better team, you know, like a Liquid or something like that. I know we're not watching Selfless play right now, but they're saying, hey, let's not veto it because this is like one of our best chances to win against a better team. You know, so it's one of those maps that people are probably going over right now. They're playing early on in their rotation. A lot of roster swaps happened. It's an easier map to go over, an easier map to get decent on, as we are going to go live here into the pistol round with Liquid starting on CT. So that's what you want to do, right? You want to knock out those easy maps to kind of go over, and then you go over like the harder ones that are going to take more time, like an overpass, for instance.
All guys, it is finally time to get ready. Once again, we do apologize for that little bit of a delay. We just had to take a moment to get some of the players into the server, but it does appear as though, well, we're live and ready now with Misfits on the T side and Team Liquid on the defense. Very quickly, Misfits a 3-2 split, sending a majority of their players inside of the castle. Elige, look at how aggressive he's being, but it's a bait setup. Twist right outside, destroys Elige, and already they're up to a man advantage. A 4-man stack on B awaits for them should these two players shift inside of the B halls and then head down into the site. Well, since they're not going to see anything else, we do see them on that B site. The CTs, this is, start to split up a bit more. They'll send JDM over in the event that they do push back in from A long there. But again, everything remains quiet until we see that push from Stanislaw. He's going to move in, and he trades one right back after they stole a teammate from them moments ago.
Yeah, and the thing about that push is Elige died to Twist, but Six stayed hidden, so we didn't see that the bomb was there. As that first kill goes off, Stanislaw re-evens it up, makes it a 4v4 off that nice push by him. JDM's in the site. He has a kit and a nade, so we're going to see what he can do with that here.
Nade's going deep there, and in theory, if this hits, it could do some good damage. We're seeing that on the Twist there. Nitro's going to be able to finish that kill off. They hit Sick with the nade down to about 54, but Nitro finding some huge impact right here. 3 kills, all headshots with the USP. Sick is stuck in the alley. There's really nowhere for him to go, so more than likely, we're going to be looking at Team Liquid controlling the pistol here and starting off strong. Sick trying to do basically as much damage as he can try to battle out back for some chance at winning this, but it's essentially all lost, and finally JDM purchased himself on top of the shed for the closeout.
Yeah, and great pistol work by Nitro there, holding Heaven, I believe it was, on the cross. JDM just kind of staying alive, letting his teammates get good work because of that, right? As soon as he stays alive there and those players are coming into sight, they have to keep eyes on him, but then his teammates are rotating from Heaven in that doorway. So him staying alive, actually, he deserves some credit for winning that round. Just keeping eyes on him makes it so much easier on his teammates. And that was a big part to helping Nitro get those kills. So Stanislaw jiggle peeking long A, gets some info, falls back. That's very, very good CS right now. They have no B pressure, so they're probably going to keep 2 towards A right now. They even have a swing on the one guy, Pimp, who's watching the drop, has a quick rotate towards A as well.
Well, we've got Stanislaw going to take point on this contact duel here, but only picks up the 2 kills. Still, though, decent damage being done, and they get the read in terms of where the play is coming from, so they'll be able to put more players in position to counter a lot of this out. Sick and Twist, though, battling it back a bit, and Sick is the one leading things up to the doorway. He's done enough to be able to push JDM back behind this big door leading into the site, but there is also a flank on its way from Elige, working its way up to the suicide steps right now. They're able to sneak into the site, find themselves a plant, however, and now Team Liquid keeps themselves very quiet in hopes of allowing Elige to sneak in here and find one of these 2 final kills so that they can still go 2-0 to start. They've already allowed them to pick up the plant, but again, they're forcing here, so this isn't going to lead to anything crazy in the 3rd round. If they can still deny this, they'll still be in control. And speaking of which, in comes Elige. It takes a moment, but he gets the kill, and JDM does the same.
Yeah, all SMGs across the board for Liquid. Very, very close round there. Misfits, you're pretty happy with that, man. You got 3 kills. You got the bomb down, so you got a little bit extra money for yourself. And Liquid, you know, five SMGs there. Could have gone a little bit cleaner. You see Stan died with almost all his nades to work with, as we see Elige takes out that last kill. But both teams were kind of okay with that round, you know. Misfits now, since they got the bomb down, that's going to afford them a little extra leeway into upgrading to deagles and things of that nature.
Well, now we can see the Misfits again just going back to the 4-1 split here, as they are just going to have the upgraded pistol, so as they save up for their first gun round. Nitro, though, getting aggressive, and this time it works out a lot better than that pistol round. Moves out there, it takes down Relics. We have more players pushing themselves out here onto the Broken Wall approach, and JDM not having any luck there at all. He does get taken down. Thankfully, Elige is here, and he's finding some massive damage. Pimp rolling in for the support, and Shazam is not going to last very long either there.
Yeah, so first gun round, and Misfits is still able to afford an op as one gets dropped to Shazam from Twist. So he's going to have some limited nades to work with, just one flashbang to his name. We'll see what Sean opts to do on this T side, you know, if he's going to do anything quick paced. I doubt it just because Shazam has that op. It looks like they're going to go more towards an A strategy here with 2 towards the B halls, holding with bomb. Sean gears Relics and Shazam outside of A, holding for any type of pushes, seeing if Liquid gives them anything, maybe puts up some sort of early round aggression. They want to be set up for it. And now Sick looking for any type of a drop kill that he can get. And Liquid has it very heavily stacked right now, though.
Moving towards it, he'll even get smoked back off here, and there'll be no way to safely peek through that either. A little bit to the left, but it doesn't matter, as it's still going to cover off the entire approach. The rest of the team, in the meantime, is working on a very slow approach leading up to that A long entry point, and there's no resistance here from Team Liquid right now. The closest thing they have is Stan sitting halfway up the T ramp right now, or actually, apologies, right at the very edge of the T ramp there. So he will have to move back pretty quickly to be able to spot some more of this. But Nitro changing his own position here too, going to the balcony. This is still going to be a little bit dangerous, but from the current works of things, unless something changes from Misfits here, this could just turn itself into an A split as they wait for that drop smoke to go away and then try to go in to take window control. But they're watching out for that as well, so the play itself in drop could, in theory, get counted out if Pimp reads this properly. In they go, though. They do some great damage onto him. They're not going to be able to kill him just yet, but there's the frag over towards drop from Sick. Nitro knows that the play is coming, but he's peeked out from that little bit of a broken wall there. Relics takes him down from the alleyway, and now they've swung in wide here. They've taken control. Stanislaw did not actually take any of the duels here, but Sick, like no problems at all, goes inside of the shed, grabs the kill onto the site transition from against Elige. Stanislaw is taken down. He doesn't even get a chance to initiate on that flank, and for JDM, there's no hope in the world at all. This is super clean from Misfits, and they're going to pick up the first gun round.
Yeah, not a single point of damage taken from any Misfits player either. Nitro getting caught with his Molotov out back in sight. Stan not able to make anything happen. But Stan actually made a good play, right? He dodged him. He was going to get behind him. But if you do that, you kind of need Pimp to get one kill. You need Nitro to stay alive a little bit longer, because the quicker those guys die, the quicker Misfits is going to be like, hey, let's watch her back, let's watch her back, let's watch her back. But if Nitro just stays alive in sight there for a while, 4 or 5 seconds maybe, Stanislaw could probably come, shoot behind him, maybe get a kill, stay alive. That's going to open up things for Nitro as well. So everything kind of fell apart there for Liquid. Misfits winning that round cleanly, builds up their bank a little bit. Liquid is going to be on a bye right now, but if they lose this round, they are going to be eco'd.
And another 3-2 split, your default opener here for the T side once again. Moving out just to throw some nades and whatnot over onto the A-bomb site, but nothing too crazy from either team. We may see Elige over on that B-bomb site boost himself up on top of the broken wall platform there to try and hold an advanced position like we can see now. And I think he might have spotted Shazam on the drop down there. He certainly jumped up over the smoke to where he could have been spotted. So they'll keep the op player, JDM, posted behind the box and close to that staircase in the eventuality they do move through here. But once again, we have the Misfits' bomb moving back over here towards an A push right now. It's a 2-1-2, but the bomb probably will end up grouping up in the mid-connector with these guys at A long, and they may just try to A split this again since it went basically flawlessly in the last round, and it seems like that's going to be the case. Down they go. There's nobody watching outside of the window. They do not expect them to try to play for this 2 in a row, but now, with no one watching out for this type of play, Nitro has to adjust all of a sudden, but he's not going to be able to do it. Sick takes him down. Shazam finds the quick peek there onto Stanislaw as he tries to swing in for a trade. Won't be found. And now, just like in the last round, they walk right onto the A site, get those entries, and the remaining 3 from Team Liquid have no choice but to save or post up for exits.
Yeah, with no drop control, Sick, and I think it's Twist, freely drop down, split towards A, and Nitro recognizes it too late. Had he just been, that's 2 rounds in a row that Nitro is a second off. Had he recognized that they were going to be there a second beforehand, he probably gets that kill on Sick. Instead, he's looking there as soon as Sick's coming out. Sick gets the drop on him, gets the kill. And that's twice in a row, right? We saw it at Broken Wall as well. JDM up trying to save his op, giving little wall bangs through. And Misfits, we'll see if they want to try to chase. Tough tough to chase on this. But Sean should be able to see JDM. Does not spot him, so JDM gets a freebie there. Everybody else able to save their guns. Nobody else going to die this round.
Yeah, at this point, though, Sean, I think, should have enough cash at 6,500 to be able to rebuy back through that one. It is going to keep his overall total a little bit lower here. But once more, that drop play works flawlessly for these guys, and Stan trying to swing in there to the mid connector. We can see him getting punished pretty quickly. Now the CTs go on to a forced investment here, since they did manage to save quite a few of those guns coming off of the 5th round. But for those that didn't, it's still going to be a bit iffy here. You've got one M4, one up, a CZ for Nitro, and then 2 UMPs for the rest of the team. Misfits with a bit of a change up this time as they're fast out, but the Molotov here, Twist is burning, and he doesn't realize it. Goes down to 52 HP before he's finally able to push back out, but this is quick control being taken. Twist, though, shut down from the backside, doesn't check the transition room. That's where Stan's going to find the kill. And, well, the rest of the T's right now, they're not making any progress at all. They have one down below the broken wall, but that's it. The rest are stuck on the platform, and Stan is going to mow through 2 of them. Elige actually picking up 1 of the kills, but Relics and Sick turn it around yet again. This goes down to a 2v3. CT's quickly still moving into this B bomb site, though, and hold about half the site under their control. And it's not just Destheiser, it's JDM moving in on a flank over there towards the broken wall approach. They'll wait, obviously, more than likely for this bomb to go down or for them to confirm positions of these players. But Sick looking in the back site, can't find anything there. Pimp is still up close here, sitting up behind the tree boost box. He doesn't want to take any risks either. However, Nitro does. He swings out. There's JDM with the trade, and now it goes down to Relics for the 1v2 clutch. Already picking up 1 kill in this round. Bomb still not down on the ground, but with 50 seconds, plenty of time to play with. Moves in, though. Tries to go aggressively against Pimp, but he's waiting for that one, and he will shut it down.
Do you remember what I said, Blue, about just not having anybody who's willing to commit? Twist goes out, he dies. All 4 other players are just sitting around the stairs. They're not making any progress. Nobody capitalizes off of Twist's good positioning and flanking there. And they're all just sitting on the stairs. Nobody's willing to put their life on the line and taking a risk by trying to win the round. And I'm telling you, when you play against these really good teams, when your take gets completely disjointed like that, especially there was only 1 player there. There was just Elige. They were completely overplaying, you know, A and draw. But yeah, no progress made onto the site. Just hovering, and that's one of the worst things you could do.
Well, now we do have Misfits again in the 2-3 split, with most of their players remaining outside. No aggression at all, however, inside of those A-halls early on, and smoked out and drops. This is another round where we are probably going to see quite a bit of delay before there is any real action here. Smoke fades, and well, now they do get prepared to move in. Nitro tried to sneak back in there to reapply either the Molotov or just check to see. But he gets brought down to 46 HP instead and backs away without even getting the chance to apply that. They've been revealed, however, now and can adjust for that one. As you can see, partial window position being taken up there by Pimp, more so in the doorway, but he can adjust pretty quickly to try and watch out should they attempt that drop split again. But it's not going to happen this time. It's more than likely just going to be an all-in play towards A. Maybe having just Sick go for it, but I think that they sort of expect this drop play by this point. So they're going to prioritize more of their players leading directly into the A-bomb site. Speaking of which, here they go. 2 are out, but they don't expect to find Stanislaw back by the tree. He's going to catch one. Fast trade, but then JDM re-peeks from the same position Stanislaw was from. Finds Twist. Another one to the face of Relics, up close and personal this time. They're down to 2 now. More up the ramp, and it's another one for JDM. He's up to 3 on this round. Shazam is the last one standing back over here at A-long, but he has no positional advantage. He has a smoke and 2 flashbangs to try and get him out here, but everyone from the CT side is ready for him. They know he's sitting back in this corner. They're going to try to box him out, and he knows with 10 seconds left, he doesn't have a hope in the world. He's on the run. He's going to save the op, and it's going to be a 5th for Team Liquid.
Yeah, Shazam, no choice but to save there, and Liquid winning his last 2 rounds very, very nicely. JDM doing great work with the op right there. You know, as soon as he leaves long A, he peeks middle, gets that kill, still is able to you know, go back after that. Even though right here he was open, right, to long, he goes, he gets that kill, quickly adjusts, realizes that they're coming out of this angle, kills Relics, falls back, and stays alive. Doesn't go for the home run, you know, he understands it's a 4v1, he doesn't have to re-peek and throw away his life to Shazam. Now it's 5-2. Misfits is going to force off Shazam's op and hope that he could, you know, maybe open something up over at this B site.
We do have Shazam again playing it forward and aggressively towards the broken wall to punish anybody from Team Liquid that may boost up on top of there. Won't be obliged with that early on here, though. Team Liquid are just playing it safe, playing it further back in the bomb site. And reapplying appropriate uses of utility here to try and hold Misfits off. They are more than likely, though, going to apply their own bit of pressure in a second here. Tech-9 play along with the Galil and a single op sitting in Shazam's hands. They need to take quick control with that amount of gun power, and they're going to use smokes to try and do it. But JDM waits, however, misses the first shot back over here from the Chicken Coop. Tosses out the smoke on the left side to give him a bit of room. We do see a Liege further on the site, finding his first impact. He's traded out quickly. Pimp looking for the next target here, finds one, but they are veiled inside of the smoke, and Twist able to trace down the spray to find Pimp. Down to a 3v2 now as Team Liquid have been limited highly, but they're going to boost a player up on the tree spot. Nitro got flashed, but no one was able to spot him because of that second smoke on the left. None of the guys on Broken Wall could see him. Misses the first one. Stan wraps in for the last one. It's down to Twist. He's trying to use the smoke to his own advantage here as he tries to wrap around and counter out the guy boosted up on the tree box, but they haven't found him yet. They haven't been able to box him out as he's brought this down to a 1v1. Nitro still looking for his chance to peek back out. He's seen it, but he walks right into the headshot from Twist, and a big clutch from him puts Misfits back on the map.
Yeah, 5-3. Liquid, they're probably going to buy here. A good round by Misfits there. That was a very, very important one. But this one might be equally or even more important. Liquid actually looks like they're going to save blue. I'm surprised they don't buy up here. Because if they do win this round, it's going to put Misfits on a double save. Right, their economy's in shambles right now, and they're not even getting that great of a buy, right? They have the 4 AKs and the Galil, but they don't have the most utility. I'm surprised Liquid is playing it this conservatively. Maybe they're happy that they're at 5-3 on CP side of Cbble, and then they feel good. As Twist just dies to Nitro, who gets 3 kills in a ridiculous position that should have never happened, and a huge blunder by this Misfits team.
Starting it off with the CZ and then trading it back out, a huge mistake made, but we can talk more about that in a second as there's still some action to cover here. Well, a little bit of it. I highly doubt that Misfits is going to be able to round this round back under their control. Shazam moving back over here to the doorway. They don't have direct coverage on it, but the second he swings in, Nitro is going to be waiting. There he is. Good shot from Shazam to get the kill, but there's a second guy waiting around the corner, and he even pre-fire into Sean a little bit there. He does get the location off of that intel, though, so he's able to move in, gets his second, but Stan with a P250 is going to finish it off. Team Liquid on essentially a full save, steal that one away.
Yeah, and that's one of those rounds you look back and you say, if this game ends, you know, whatever, Liquid has a really good half, you say that round there might have just lost us the game. You know, like that's one of those rounds because that is such a huge swing. Liquid didn't invest anything into that round. It puts Misfits on a force buy with like $2,000 a piece on each of them. I mean, that is just terrible.
The fact that he's able to look down to the ground when a second guy is pushing him, pick up the AK, and then still pick up 2 more kills.
Yeah, Relics was whiffing hard there.
The second guy that jumped at the window, was that? Yeah, so that's going to cost them big time. As you mentioned previously, Misfits now have to go to what's essentially just a Tech-9/Deagle buy. Shazam picking that one up. Relics saving a bit more here with a P250, and the majority of their players pushing into A long here early on. They've already taken damage, however, as one of them's down to about 50 and a second one down to 80. Liquid preparing for this. They just 3-2 split it. Full 2-man commitment over to the A-bomb site, and this is heavy in its own regard. Here, Sean doesn't know where to go, trying to toss that nade out on 2 separate jumps, but the Molotov is going to take effect before he can even do that. Burns alive, goes down, and now they know for sure that the rest of this is going to come in. That shot from Shazam, though, just rolls out of nowhere. Stan hiding behind the cannons here. He's going to get one. They held up a little bit here. Shazam goes for that shot, but even though we do see the 1 kill from Shazam on the Deagle, that's about it. It is very well controlled by Liquid beyond that.
Yeah, now Misfits, it's going to put them on a hard eco right now, and Liquid's economy is just going to build up that much more. Poor Sean, though. that is unfortunate.
They always have one of those moments. So
he tried.
He tried, yeah. That's what's important. He gets the gold star.
Yeah.
So now Misfits going off into this next round. However, again, Money's still not really in a great position here, so they do have to full save off of this one. For those that had a bit over 2K, they go over the P250s, but that's it. So in theory, we expect another very easy victory for Team Liquid, but we said the same thing a couple rounds back when Team Liquid were in this very same position, so we'll find out if we'll be surprised again here in a minute. Nitro, though, even expecting this one as he goes for the SMG buy here, so they're accounting for this, and they're playing it very, very carefully themselves here. Holding at the edges, basically just looking to shut them down if they try to go for one big push. And we've already seen decent track records with regards to that in the past couple of rounds. Shazam pushing himself in there first. Nitro, nicely done. Sprays him through the door as he retreats back out. He's going to be able to take him out before he can even get back and regroup with Relics over there. JDM finding another one. Nice right transfer there from Pimp to get both of those kills against Twist and Sick. And now it's just Relics. Nitro just leaping through that mid door there. Gets a second kill. Knocks out Relics. And again, as we said before, a pretty easy one for Team Liquid to score an 8th.
Yeah, another clean round pretty much for them, 8-3. And Liquid's bank account is getting pretty big. As we see Nitro, it's a nice little wall main there with that MP9.
And now this is becoming a very one-sided game in a certain degree to Team Liquid here. Misfits, for a map that we generally regard as being T-sided here, is not able to find consistent impact. We saw them pick up those 2 rounds off the drop plays, but after that, haven't really seen much else here. Their general takes on the B and A bomb sites have been pretty lackluster, and for the most part have been counted out. Even Nitro jumping up here brings Sean down to 10. Twist was brought down to 64, I think, through a nade here when he tried to go aggressively out. He's hoping for those peaks to try and take them down. Shazam also being taken up by Stan back over there in the mid connector. So they've already lost a lot of their pushing force here, and Team Liquid so passive, not giving them anything at all in this initial push. Twist wanted to jump up on top of his teammate there, but he's pushed back, and now we see the peak come out there from Pimp specifically. He's able to find Twist, takes him down, and these guys are so lit. This would be incredible for them to turn it around, but Elige, beautifully played, gets all 3 of those final kills. They were already injured. He just does the finishing job and picks up the 9th now.
Yeah, just clean round after clean round, and we saw Stewie with a nice 4K there, you know, last night, and Elige, you know, hitting 3 nice, really quick kills there. Nitro, though, for those early struggles he was having in A, you know, he won the pistol round for him, essentially, right? Got 3 kills, held strong, won the full eco round where he has the CZ and gets 3 more. So coming up huge in like the most important rounds as Misfits just does a B rush with almost a full eco. JDM gets caught off guard, but he has backup with Elige and Pimp, and Elige is so tough to take out when he's around the statue. It just seems like he's unkillable every time that Misfits goes and attacks him. He's staying alive, he's multi-fragging, he's 13-4, and when you're attacking him straight up, a lot of time you just expect him to get a kill, maybe stay alive a little bit and then die, but he's consistently multi-fragging and staying alive.
Yeah.
So he's playing great at that B site and really making it difficult for Misfits to get anything going around there.
You can see him becoming the main target of aggression there, along with Pimp on that push. But once more, blind aggression from Misfits does not really pan out. They are countered out pretty quickly. And now we go into the last couple of rounds here. Team Liquid essentially immortal. They could throw away all of these guns and still be able to rebuy into it. So they're not under risk at all, even if Misfits does clean up shop on this round. They've gone back to a more passive style, at least in terms of the general play. Twist gets a bit aggressive there at the opener, but that's kind of been what we've been seeing from him throughout most of the half. It's either been a push out to Broken Wall or into drop very early on within the first 20 to 30 seconds or so, just to see what he can find, and after that promptly falling back and falling in line with whatever the rest of the team is going to do for their execute. But Nitro has actually allowed access to the entire Broken Wall push there. Moves in, hoping to find a player in that usual corner spot, but nothing there this time. They've completely abandoned it for now. However, will very quickly relocate their players outside of the mid-connector and A-long over here to try and go for some type of execute. Mollying out the transition room to try and burn players from there. Again, it's a miss this time, but still safe practice as they are just trying to take this more thematically here and trying to find an easier path into the B-bomb site, but it's not working out so far here. Everybody's staying in their positions. The only thing they may have, the only thing that may go their way is the fact that, again, the defense on the B-bomb site is only really 2 players on the site itself, and Pimp further out watching the window. You've got another guy kind of playing as a rotator, and another one fully committed to suicide steps right now. So they need to go clean on these entries, and that's not the way to start it. Nitro and Elige both picking up kills. Elige will get forced back, but he's still haven't forced Nitro out from his position in front of the box there, the boost box. Sean is up here. They're not punishing him whatsoever, though, so he's allowed a kill. Shazam sneaks one off somewhere in the middle here too, but he's quickly going to be taken down by Nitro, and now it's just Sean. They only have 8 seconds left as well. They know exactly where he's playing from. He hasn't been quiet at all. Timer's going to tick out in a second here, so they might as well just try to sit inside and save the AK as Team Liquid win another one, and they are going to move in. Stan will at least. Sean holds that off. A second one pushes in, and he actually does get that kill. So Sean's only going to survive with 1,500 as he goes into the final round.
So he'll probably just have a P250 armor, a Tech 9 in armor. Nitro and Elige, though, another really good setup at B. They feign B-plat control, so now they have to worry about B-plat control if you're Misfits. And Nitro watches the E-box from the square. He takes contact, he hides. B-guy takes contact, then he hides, and they just keep setting each other up for kills. Nitro ending the round with a 4K. Just what was looking like a pretty decent half for Misfits. Again, Blue. Right when they lost that round to Nitro, and that CZ making that boneheaded play where they just jump out and all 3 die on a round that Liquid spent maybe $2,000 total. And that's causing them so much here as well. It's a great shot on Stanislaw to open it up and make it 4v5, and Sean's going to be able to pick up that op, and now all of a sudden he's back in the game. And going to have what he needs to be successful in this round.
Shazam also finding Pimp here too. Pimp just not expecting any aggression at all to come through that mid connector, so another free kill goes their way. Saw that earlier one from Relics there too to kill a guy that was just peeking out for Meilong. The timing on it worked out perfectly. JDM also misses his first shot, so they know where he is. Twists runs out there and grabs the headshot against JDM. All of a sudden, we've seen a renewed amount of power coming out here from Misfits as they even counter at the flank. We'll see what Nitro can do. It's the last round, so he might as well go for it, but his attempts at going for it are probably not going to be so great, and as he wastes his whole clip spraying through the door, Twist just wraps around the corner, and we do end up seeing a 4th round there for the Misfits guys. So it's still a bit one-sided here in the favor of Team Liquid, but we have seen some power for this new Misfits roster. We'll find out if they have any chance of a comeback, guys, in just a few, as the second half will be continuing right here at the ESL Pro League.
ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Logitech G, Pay Safeguard, Mountain Dew League, and ESEA.
All right, guys, so first half very much in the favor of Team Liquid. It goes 11-4 here on Cobblestone for their first map of this evening. And like we said, though, we saw some good stuff from the guys on Misfits. It just seemed to all fall apart going into the very end of that half there, and that's where Liquid really was able to take control and have that dominating scoreline.
Well, it all started off that Nitro play. I think they won the very last round, but after that Nitro play where he wins the round with the CZ after picking up the AK and getting that 3K, they didn't lose a round except for that last round, I believe.
Yeah.
Right? I think that was at 5-3 that happened. Was 6-3 after that round and ended 11-4 with them winning that very last round. So it was looking good for Misfits. You figure they're going to win that round. It's going to be 5-4 at that point. And then both teams are buying. They have a chance to put Liquid on eco with probably 2 gun rounds in a row if they win that round cleanly. And all of a sudden they could have a really good half. But when you lose rounds like that, it just crushes anything you're trying to do. It crushes your momentum, crushes your economy, builds up the other team's economy. It's one of those rounds that you're going to look back and you're going to say, we lost the half because of that round.
So what were your thoughts overall, like actually just looking strategically at what we saw from Misfits in the first half? It started off like good on T side with like the drop split plays on A, but then after that it seemed to become extremely repetitive, just going for pretty basic executes from that point forward.
Well, they just have that team as a whole has an issue with nobody willing to just sack up and sacrifice their lives. Like, yeah. It's how it is. Shazam's not going to do it. He's their operator. He's always playing very, very passively. He's always looking to trade kill, be last alive in the rounds. But all of them are looking to do that. Sick is probably their biggest guy who would take an entry frag type of situation, but he's not willing to take an entry frag situation where he doesn't have a clean battle, right? So he's not willing to take one where he's going to jump through a smoke, throw a flash behind him, and try to just barrel, bulldoze through somewhere and have like a 30% chance to get in a kill. None of them are willing to do that, and that is the big problem with this team.
Well, we are getting into it here now, ladies and gentlemen. Team Liquid on their T side. We'll see if they can just roll right through it and be able to claim 16-4 as a victory, but that's not going to be the best start to it. Shazam going back up the suicide steps, finds Nitro on the way back there and retreats to the site as well, calling for reinforcements. Liquid seem a little bit lost, even though they've gotten themselves over to the top, moving in for quick control. Stan and JDM both picking up quick kills, and that should clear things out for now. They actually didn't even fully rotate. I believe it was Sick over just said he's stuck inside in the event that this was going to be a big fake, but definitely not the case. Now he's grouping up. Relic's his first point of contact to move back in, and he's going to go hunting for Pimp, but he actually finds Elige walking right out in front of his crosshair there. Does not check his angles. Pimp looking around frantically right now as Sean Garrett picks up another kill. JDM trades, but now Pimp is lost, so it's all on JDM, but he's not going to be able to survive either. Relics claims another one, gets himself a 3K on the round, and the Misfits will claim control of the pistol.
Yeah, great retake by them. I felt like Shazam did a good job over at A, getting that initial frag, staying alive for a very, very long time. It seemed like for, 15, 20 seconds, he was kind of just running around the wood wall, waiting for the rotate. It looked like post-plant Liquid was going to take that round, but then confusion there during that post-plant. Shazam hits a banger out there. In danger. A little bit of confusion. Elige not realizing that they're out the rat hole or the doorway, and Relics just shoots him in the side of the head, gets a nice 3K on that retake, and all of a sudden Misfits, they pick up the pistol, and they really a much needed pistol if they want to get back into this game.
Misfits with almost an identical scoreline across all 5 players. I think everybody except for one is sitting at 8 kills right now. Twist is the only difference up at 9, but everybody's either 8 and 12 or 8 and 13 beyond that, excluding the assists, of course. Going into this second round, though, now we see Team Liquid actually not aggressively buying into this one at all. They just P250 upgrade. Stan will add a smoke and a flashbang to it, but beyond this, they are actually not going to prioritize. They're not going to prioritize buys in this one at all. So more than likely saving up for that third round. Misfits, on the other hand, have gone for a bit more of a varied buy. Heavy on the rifles, with 2 of them being picked up, and a Tech 9 just being, I'm assuming, carried in from the previous round on Sick there. But now, as they do push back in, it's already Sean with the first tag. They did manage to bring Shazam down to 20 in the process of this, but Twist with another one. Shazam tagging in for one there too. They're really struggling to get up this T ramp right now. Elige finds that kill on Twist. JDM tries to go sneaky inside of the doorway there, but they spot that, and pretty quickly, with the exception of Twist going down, it's another round for the Misfits.
Yeah, so only 1 death onto Twist. Liquid definitely going to buy here. They got that bomb plant first round, so they weren't expecting to win that second round. They're planning on taking this round. They got 3 smoke grenades, a few flashbangs to work with. So not any Molotovs or anything like that. Nobody sacrifices to get like a Tech 9 and full nades. And they line up in pretty much like a default type strat. Elige watching the A push with another player, 3 player towards B. So they're just going to deny any type of info and pushes that the CTs can get and see if they can punish any type of peeks like that. But Sick, very smartly, I love when people do this. They save on that second round. He only had a Tech 9 into that second round, and then he buys an op to third round. He knows they're not going to have an op, punishes them, but then Stan, very, very sneaky, runs through the smokes, evens it up, and puts it into a 4v4, and now all of a sudden that's advantage Liquid all day.
Sneaking himself in there, indeed. He takes down Sick, and now, again, pulling off all pressure from the B-bomb side and shifting it into the mid-connector, and more than likely leading this into the A site. Now it's caused a full rotate already from the Misfits side, as everybody's pulled into B except for Shazam. So he has to go big, and he only has a scout right now working with it. The op is currently in the hands of Relics back over there. And it doesn't look like they're going to have any signs of a rotate anytime soon. They're all preparing for some sort of late drop play to come in here. Thankfully, Shazam up on top of the shed here. He is going to spot some of this early on. Shot really not connecting here, so as he backs up, they already know where he's going to be positioned at. No way he could have crossed in time. Flashbangs are good, but he misses this guy that swung out from the alleyway completely. It's a free kill for Nitro, and he's going to chain it into a second one before finally going down. Pimp finding the third. It's just Relics now, and with the up, he may want to choose to save here. Moving in, trying to see if he can find anybody for free. He spotted that peek from Elige, but I think the reverse is true as well. So in a moment, he'll have to give this one up, and Team Liquid will just chain together a 12th.
Yeah, Relic's going to just look to save this op. Pretty much an impossible task from Shazam there to try to hold that site by himself with a scout. It's basically just a calculated risk by Misfits to overplay the B site there, but Shazam, they want him to get an earlier call, but the only way he's going to get an earlier call is if that they go at middle before they really go out the long A. And that's not going to happen from Liquid. They send one guy middle, they're already pushing up long by the time the middle guy's spotted at all. So really difficult task for Shazam. Not much he can do there with a scout with 4 guys pushing him. He really need to make a miracle happen if he wanted to win that round.
So Stan, unfortunately, is not able to move back in there and find the kill against the op from Relics. He will be able to carry this one in, but Bit of replay there. You can see Sick, as you mentioned before, sneaking in there aggressively because of the fact that he saves in the last round, or the second round, I should say. Does not purchase anything. He's able to get it going in this one, but he drops it really quickly after that due to Stan being sneaky and being able to move in through that smoke to trade him back out. We do go back into another investment, however, for Misfits GG, as they are able to get themselves back on the buy. Everybody except for Sick on either a rifle or an op right now. But Team Liquid being very front-facing this time with their aggression. They're moving in. Sick is spotted on the corner, but Nitro realizes it far too late. He gets the kill with the CZ, falls back over here. There's Molotovs and whatnot covering it, but he's able to hop over those pretty easily. Pimp now leaping in, but leaps into his death, unfortunately, as Shazam finds that kill. Elige with the trade. They know they have Relic sitting on the back plat there somewhere. Twist, however, dipping in for yet another kill. These last two just tag teaming it, moving together, but the flashbang forces them into the open, and Relics is just going to destroy both of them as the Misfits trade once again, getting themselves a 7th.
Yeah, and Sick did a really good job there of getting that initial entry and then actually getting away. And the thing about it is he gets away here, but the fact that he had a CZ close, look at that. Pimp's looking underneath him. They're all looking around there for Sick after that initial entry happens. He just books it. And they're all just looking for him. It makes it so easy on his teammates to get the follow-up kills. And now Liquid going to be on a save, so most likely it'll end 12 to 8. That's a really cool animation, whatever we just saw right there.
Yeah, that's weird. So now we've got Stan trying to play this out very, very front-facing here by pushing towards the broken wall that early on. But unfortunately, it doesn't lead to much. He's shut out pretty fast. Now Sean going to do work with the AK more than likely. 1-2. He does not watch his backside, so Elige will find the trade kill. And JDM trying to hide as well. All these attempts to get super aggressive and sneak in kills later on just aren't playing out. Shazam is going to take down Elige through the alley wall there, and we see Misfits with the 8th, as you predicted.
Yeah, and Liquid is in a pretty good spot, though, in regards to this entire game, but they need to start getting something going on their T side. The fast strat that by that BS Stan just went out here and gave his whole team just like 30 seconds to hit A with only one player there. And they offer another eco, so their buys have been very, very conservative throughout this game. Not really trying to push the pressure economically, you know, with continued force buys or anything like that. They want to play it very conservative. They're fine with giving Misfits 9 rounds, and I don't think that's a bad idea at all. I mean, I think when you're on T side of Cbble, I still think Cbble is favored, despite some really good CT side performances by a lot of teams lately. And I think it's a smart move.
Well, we've got Sean peeking out there, but doesn't get full realization as to just how heavy of a peak that was going to be until it's too late. Pimp will catch the trade, and Relics here will bait it into spraying out there, so they're able to time that very well. Nitro gets the kill onto Relics, and now this goes into the advantage of Team Liquid. 4v3. Obviously, gunpower still a little bit in the favor of Misfits, but they've retrieved both of those rifles to work with here as well. One of them going into the hands of an armored player. They didn't give that second one to Pimp. He's at lower HP, so I'm going to assume that's why right now. But beyond this, they actually pull off all of the pressure from A and are now shifting their way over here into the B halls, holding in between them right now to see if anybody else from Misfits tries to push out against them.
Yeah, and Sick has a tough job if they go B. It looks like they're going to cancel. And I think the reason they canceled is because they heard the pop flash happen in mid and Twist clear it. And that's why they're canceling and going back to A. Shazam spots him again, misses that shot from the back of the site. We'll see if he could have a difference in performance here from middle. He gets Molotov'd out, and this is going to be very difficult for him.
Molly won't spread, so he can still hide in the corner, but he's getting pushed from the left side now, trying to swing in. Twist is here for support now, but not being able to find the shot on a Pimp is going to lead to his death. This goes even now. It's 2v2. Pimp taking a moment to be able to pick that back up. Keep in mind, only 8 seconds to get this bomb on the ground. They'll have the time to do it right now, but look at Six sneaking in from behind the APC. Only 3 seconds now. They can't plant. He needs to get this kill, and Six smart. He's not going to take that battle, and then he swings out after the timer is expired, kills Pimp, destroys his money, and it's Misfits with the 9th.
Yeah, questionable decision-making by Pimp to not cover the planter. I think if he just, you know, stayed up there and, you know, just literally meat shield for Nitro, I think they have a much better chance of winning that round instead of just assuming that he's going to be able to get the bomb down safely. He had nowhere to go to plant safe. He didn't have enough time, right? So he can't really run around and get into that corner because that guy could be at APC. So Pimp, a little bit of a blunder there, I think, in that 2v1.
So he does still have enough cash, thankfully, to be able to buy into it. Gets himself the AK with armor sitting behind it. And as for the rest of Misfits here now on...
Yeah, at the end of the day, that was an eco.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you get 4 kills, and you know, damage their economy a lot on a round that you maybe invested $2,500 in. So it's a win, it's a victory. Like, even though you lost the round, it goes a long way towards winning this match.
They're giving, again, though, you mentioned it before about how often they were choosing a save already in the 7th round here, and this is one of the first times that they're really going for this big of an investment now because it's been so chaotic at the start. And we can see Shazam playing it very forward with the op, but the guys on Liquid are smart. They bait out the shot just to confirm that he's there with that, and they don't decide to go forward with that one. They're going to fall back into the B hulls here now that they know where one of the ops is. What they probably don't realize yet, however, is that the CTs have gone for a double op setup this time. Sick wielding the second one back by the chicken coop, the usual position on the B bomb site. Which means if these guys go out haphazardly, not looking to control that situation, then it could do some big damage. But it does turn itself into a fairly standard B execute. 2 going down and drop through a Molotov. We should mention Pimp doesn't seem to care that there's fire on the ground. Well, Twist will put a stop to him pretty quickly as he peeks into the transition room. And Elige does not want to challenge that yet. That'll change as he moves in, looks for Twist, but he cannot be stopped here. And now it's Sick with that secondary up. Moves in, finds the kill. JDM will catch a trade onto that, but now he's alone in a 1v4. Again, time very low, 15 seconds. He's being pushed from the right side. He's able to dodge the initial peek, grabs that kill on a Relic's really just looking for damage at this point, as there's no way he's going to be able to clutch this out with the time that he has left. 5 seconds, they're letting him run down, but actually no, Sean peeks right out and finishes the job, gives him the courtesy of giving him that losing bonus, of course, but it is still going to be around here once more for Misfits GG.
Yeah, double up setup now for Misfits, and it's looking like their T side is really, really strong. Really not the best take from Liquid there. They had a lot of time to set that up to you know, really support their teammates and pinch together from drop and B. Instead, we saw 2 players go down, drop, and die before these players even made any progress at B. So a disjointed attack really, you know, hurts their chance of winning that round. And now they're just opting for a quick A rush, and Shazam fumbling a bit on his nades and his op, backs up, leaves the connector open, but they have 4 players here right away. The rotate can't come so quickly. Sean gets a free kill there. He's hiding behind a smoke. They have no long A control, and this is falling apart very, very quickly for Liquid.
Yeah, now they're going to try to shuffle over here to the B-bomb site, but you can see the CTs rotating. Elige trying to keep as many on A as possible, but it's not going to be that many. They even are looking to box him out to reconfirm it. Sick sees them rolling in from the broken wall. They're trying to hop around the op shots, but that's not working. The second one's even here now, too. It's JDM again as the last man standing, but at the end of the day, Misfits do shut it down, and it's a team ace across the board this time. They're 1 round away from tying this up, but before they do that, they do have to get through 1 more gun round from Team Liquid.
Yeah, and this double up setup is very telling to Stanislaus. So he's going to have a plan here. He realizes that they have 2 ops right now, and he's probably going to adjust accordingly. And we see Sick does a really good job of just staying alive behind that statue. And anytime that smoke's not up to block off the rock and the connector, if the longer you stay alive at statue, the easier it is for your teammates to rotate and get really easy frags on players trying to chase him around that giant area.
Prevents a large amount of the site from being taken under control there, since they can't really successfully push past that for as long as it took to take him down. And now, again, the T's very quickly push themselves over here, but look at the aggression over on the B-bomb site. As we were talking about A a second ago, it's Shazam that jumps right up onto the broken wall and already finds the opening kill against JDM. Last one to go down the last 2 rounds, and this time he's going to be the first one to be eliminated. The Misfits now focus on the majority of their defenses, starting to lean it a bit more towards A here. Twist, again, still a bit of a leaner in between both of the sites, but Sean, he's going to get flashed early. They check him really late, however, so he's able to get that trade kill, but at the end of the day, it's a 2-for-1 in the favor of Team Liquid, so they're on their way out. Twist misses his chance to cleanly get into this corner, and he's burning through that Molotov. It's an easy job for Nitro. The headshot anyway would have full killed him, and he gets a second one there. 2 1-taps in a row against Twist and Sick, and now it's just Shazam. Not a hope in the world in all reality. It does appear, though, the flashbang over. He might have tried to go for it, but there's definitely not a chance, so he'll call that off, back up, and save that up.
Yeah, those are the rounds you gotta win if you're Misfits. You make it 4v5. Shazam has full B plat control. He has vision all over B, so they can't really hit B without an early rotate coming. He's gonna see them and spot them, and then like 10 seconds later is when they're actually gonna hit the B site. So they have 3 players towards A. Misfits does, and that should always be a round 1, especially in a 4v5 scenario. Instead, a nice pop flash comes out for Nitro. He comes towards middle. He clears it very efficiently with a Liege. He ends around with a nice 3K on his part, also killing Twist underneath that heaven. You see the supporting nades. Beautiful shot on Sick. The supporting nades are very important there, right? After those initial kills and they're running up, the smoke is already there at the connector. The Molotov is already underneath heaven, stopping any type of rotation, and it makes it a lot easier to take the site in that sense.
Again, I just want to reiterate, as we take a look at the kills really quickly on the Misfits side, just how even everything is. It's not really one player doing the work. You don't have a single leader like you kind of have on Team Liquid right now with Nitro pushing ahead a bit. Everybody's essentially within 2 or 3 kills at most of each other, and it's only that one guy leading down at 13 frags right now. So everybody contributing to this Misfits comeback. But with the loss of that last round, Team Liquid still have a little bit of firepower left in them and may yet be able to close out on this and prevent it. Keep in mind, this started down at 11-4 against the Misfits' favor, and now they are within 2 rounds of closing the gap and potentially being able to take the lead. Economy is still going to be rough here, however, and if they drop this one, they may find themselves on an eco. So 2 players positioned here on the B site, or the A site, watching out for it, and Sean is given a lot of free room currently, but they spot him. They're not going to be able to kill him, though. He's able to successfully back himself into the suicide steps and actually go all the way back outside. Amazingly survives that encounter and confirms that there's at least 2 or 3 players hiding out in this connector somewhere. Shazam, he'll go for the peek, and he finds the connection. Takes down Stanislaw. The guys from Team Liquid, they call this off, and they're going to rotate over here towards B now.
Yeah, and Misfits is getting the better of them when it comes to just taking map control. They're consistently, this is 2 rounds in a row now that they've made it 4v5 before Liquid really gets into what they want to do. Sean almost gives his life up going around through those smokes, trying to make a cheeky play happen. And now Misfits over-rotating towards B a lot, anticipating some type of a B hit, but it looks like it's going to be maybe a drop to A split as Bomb is outside of A, but the clock is going down so fast. JDM is running out drop with an AWP, and this is a very strange round.
They've been no strangers to playing the timer down, though, so it is done on purpose as they do move themselves towards this, wrapping around the APC. There's a lot of control, and immediately 2 kills for them. Shazam with the trade, jumps up on the wall for another one. He's still not dead. Gets himself down below. 8 seconds on the clock. Tries to get too crazy there, though, and that's when he's finally going to be shut down by Nitro. On top of this, Pimp found Twist, so it's sick in the 1v2. He's got himself a headshot angle for free, walking up. They didn't even see him, but he gives away his position so early, and now they can just play behind this shed and box him out, and there you go. Nitro finds the closing kill. The big 3K saves Team Liquid in this round, where again, it seemed like the timer was just going to go far too low, and it works out for them as they'll go 14-11.
Yeah, that is a very odd round. I mean, just from the start of it, where Sean's running around through the smoke, Shazam with this incredible play to get those 2 kills and stay alive. That was like defying all odds. But at the end of the day, Liquid somehow just wins the round with like 15 seconds left in these super chaotic situations. Now they group up towards B. It looks like they're going to execute very quickly onto this B site. Jumping down, Pimp gets flashed, but you know they're all attacking right now together. It is a B stack on the Misfits side, but it ends in a 2v3.
So we can expect these trades to go in, as you did see 2 of them go down, but after that one, again, considering the full save for the most part that we were seeing from Misfits there, a couple CZs and upgraded pistols with armor behind it, and I think we had 1 UMP, but that's pretty much it, as they're looking for this round here. They're going to take it all the way up to tie point. At this point, though, they have to go 4 straight. No double op setup to work with either, which was a powerhouse that was letting them round this comeback before. Their economy never really restabilized to the point where they were able to use it, so it's just been Shazam over these past few gun rounds, along with the M4s, of course, and Sean Garrett's even having to downgrade utilities, not that excellent either here. You've got your basic setups with smokes and whatnot, but in terms of like Molotovs and extra things to try and run this timer down, which has been one of the weaknesses from Team Liquid on this T side, they're really not going to be able to do that. So Team Liquid will be able to kind of have their way with whichever site they choose to go for.
Yeah, and you know, Liquid is doing all of this with Pimp at like 150, 160 ping. You know, we didn't really point that out, but he's still playing. I think he's playing from Denmark, right? I think he's at home right now.
That's where he's from, yeah, so that makes sense.
So I think he's, you know, still at home playing with like 150 ping, and he's doing, you know, holding his own, and Liquid, you know, working together as a team in order to win most of these rounds.
So Team Liquid go for the drop control here now and moving up towards it. Molotov sitting downstairs, of course, to try and burn anyone out that was close. They don't have to risk taking the play, and they back up from it completely. They're not going to move in for this drop control at all. They fall back, and again, you can mind that those 2 players are once again shifting back from the B halls and moving over towards long A currently. The bomb is following behind it. Sean was up against the wall here on the ramp, and he's still kind of moving around from here, but it's going to be Stan that will attempt to sell it here towards B, or late push to kill rotators. It seems it's going to be the former of those 2 options, as he gets all the way to this little cubby here underneath the arch, sees the jumping player from Relics, but now they know that he's here. They know they have some pressure, but look at how heavily they're rotating upon this. They move the second guy off for May. They've realized now, but again, it's still slow from Liquid, so they're not going to be able to get out in time to take full advantage of Shazam's rotate. Sean goes down quickly, and Shazam, stuck behind the APC, misses a shot, but Twist bails him out. Lige, though, will take out that Grace before it can go any further. The trades continue, but it's in the favor fully of Liquid now, as this goes down to a 3v1. Sick in the shed will go down last, and it'll be Team Team Liquid that takes control of map number 1 here between these two teams tonight. 16-11 is going to be the scoreline, and they take control of it, continuing to push their record forward.
Yeah, a really good performance by Liquid. They won a lot of rounds that were very, hectic and in hectic situations. But I got to go back if I'm Misfits there. I lost 6-2 into 11, but that round that they lost to Nitro with the CZ, I mean, imagine if they win that, they probably put together a couple more T-side rounds, you would definitely think, right? And this game is completely different, So that was the big turning point right there. I'm telling you, man.
All right, well, to talk a little bit more about map number 1, we're going to send it over to our analysts, Stunna and Bach. Take it away.
Thank you, Blue. Quite the game we had there. Obviously, starting off a little bit slow there on the T side for Misfits. Bach, what are some initial impressions?
I mean, in general, Misfits, that first half was back and forth, back and forth. And it seemed like for a while we were going to see that trend continue on. And then eventually Liquid just kind of took over, and Misfits kind of ran out of steam, and then they switched sides, and the same thing happened for Liquid.
What is there to say about the Misfits' approach here? I mean, it kind of looked like they were just a little bit timid when it come to getting out on these sites and really fully infiltrating those sites and getting the bomb down in some places.
Like Daze had touched upon it. Like some of the players maybe not as selfless, not as willing to like push out and be that lead man. So there was a couple times like they executed B, and they get control of B platform, but then they just didn't move much further beyond that. So they're stuck in this awkward fight from B platform, and it gives Liquid all the time in the world to get in position. So once the smokes and flashes are gone and there's no utility left, they're set up in positions to prevent the plan.
Well, we've got round 9 loaded up for you guys at home right now. It's a Nitro 3K, and I think this is just a prime example of being caught within the choke points here. Take a look at this.
Yeah, so it seemed like Misfits was going to start tallying up some rounds. They broke the money for Liquid. This should have been an easy one, but it doesn't turn out that way. Twist dives out. Nitro gets enough time somehow. Armorless with a CZ gets the first kill. Enough time to pick up the AK, does not get hit by a single bullet, and then gets 2 more kills and solidifies the round. I mean, at that point, it's down to a 2v5, and they've gotten themselves some rifles. Shazam's working with the underpowered Galil, and they've only got one piece of utility left, just the smoke grenade. Sean Gare's holding on to that AK as well. They're going to try and get into connector to get that bomb because the bomb fell outside the window. So it was a split A strategy, but the bomb went connector, and that kind of just played right into the setup that Liquid had. And at this point, that was a swing round because after that, Liquid wins 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rounds in a row after that. So they ran a total of 6 rounds off the back of that one.
I mean, right then and there where he's able to catch them jumping out of the window like that and have that time to then transition to the AK and continue mowing these guys down. At what point are you like, okay, well, the first 2 got annihilated. Let's not go out with our third guy, right?
Well, it seemed like it happened so fast. They didn't really have a chance to think about it, right? Like the first guy goes out and he kind of like Goomba stomps him. He lands on top of his head. It's awkward to aim down. But then he's got that angle where he can duck down and grab the AK, so you can't really see much of him. And Relix tries as hard as he can, doesn't hit him not even one time. He picks up the gun, kills 2 more, and basically wins the round single-handedly for Liquid.
We have these Nitro statistics loaded up for you guys at home, and I mean, 27 and 17 right here, and we didn't go to overtime. There was none of that. He did, increasingly well.
Yeah, Daze had talked about him saying he, really good player, maybe sometimes underutilized, not grabbing that second op, but he didn't need it in this instance. With the rifle alone, he looked great, really leading the charge for Liquid. Where when you look at the other side of the board, Misfits balanced across the board. Like everyone was putting in equal input. I don't think there was really that much disparity between the top fragger and the bottom.
So, I mean, when we do break this one down just a little bit further here for the Misfits side, obviously they struggle on their T side, but overall, I want to go ahead and say that, Liquid looked like the more fluid team there in that first half.
Is that a pun?
Well, you know what? Maybe.
Yeah, Liquid looked a lot better in that first half. And then the second half came around and things started falling apart. Misfits started to have them dialed in a bit. But then Liquid realized something. Misfits is prone to over-rotating, and they started exploiting that towards the end. And they kept catching Misfits off guard by going with a fake play or a fake, like we're going to fake the rotate B, we're going to rededicate to A, and that seemed to work out for them.
Well, what did end up working out here, we got round 25 loaded up. A nice fake, Bach. What did we see here?
So they tried to go A early on, and then they catch Sean Gares in this smoke, and now he's got all this intel. He hears all of the AK fire,
wow.
So he knows there's players all around. Sean escapes with 3 HP. I don't even know how he made it out of that smoke. 3 AKs were shooting at him. So he runs, And now Liquid is in this awkward stance. Like, do we want to rededicate here? They're thinking about it. Shazam peeks out when he hears the footsteps of the man jumping around from the top of Danger Stairs, and that's a kill early for Misfits. Liquid fakes a rotate back to B. Misfits starts to think it's going to be B because they just haven't seen anything A yet. JDM goes towards the drop room, and they send two there. Liquid and Liege and JDM both go drop room, and then they split A, and it works out so well for them because these players on A just get completely caught off guard by the two players coming through the drop, and it's just so low HP on the site, and they just 1, 2, 3, they all fall. Shazam's the only one to even get a kill. He gets a second as well, but now he's got such low HP, and he's stuck on the site, and he can't stomp the bomb plant either. So it comes down to a 1 versus 2 with Sick. And it looked like Sick might win this because we saw him do this before in a similar situation where he denied the plant in the 1 versus 2, but he just couldn't line up the shot, gets flashed, and now he's stuck out with 9 bullets. Good shooting from Liquid ends the round.
I mean, right then and there, if he gets that first kill while looking up into the site, it could have panned out to be a totally different round.
Totally winnable after that, but he misses. Now they know where he's at. They use the limited utility they have to keep him at bay, and he just kind of gets caught out in no man's land.
No, I mean, absolutely. We do have another map. We do have to, we're going to go into cash after this. And I think it's very important here that, maybe Misfits just needed to warm up a little bit. Maybe this is, we need to break the ice off, break the rust off a little bit, and then cash comes out. Should we expect to see a different Misfits?
I don't know, because their T side was where I expected to see them excel, and it was their CT side where they were strong. Like, if I'm looking at Sean Gare's last team in Echo Fox, that was where they really were strong, was on their T side. And when I'm looking at TSM, it was the same thing. Their T side was always their bread and butter because they had these strong entry fraggers in Sick and Twists. So you'd think that they would have come out much stronger on a map like Cbble, where the T side has a decent, not necessarily advantage, but it's a pretty balanced map. So I would think that Cash would play to that strength as well, but after watching that first half, I'm not so sure for Misfits anymore. I kind of think that Liquid could 2-0 them here.
Well, there's definitely a chance with the way that Liquid's playing right now. It's coming together quite well for them. I mean, you want to give credit to Stanislaw, you want to give it to Nitro, whoever it might be. Whatever they're doing over there, it's working quite well. We're going to cut to a quick commercial break, but let me tell you about this guy by the name of John Wick, a retired super assassin. You might not have heard of him. I might not have said his name before, but take a look at this preview right here. We'll be right back after the break.